What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This will be my first moto vlog, I guess. I'm testing out the new DJI Mic Mini with my DJI Osmo Action 4. So, get a nice cold start. There we go. I just got a brand new rear tire. Chain is clean, good to go. I'm actually testing out the bike to see if I tighten down the chain properly. But I'm riding my 2014 Kawasaki ZX6R. What I wanted to go over for today was, is the ZX6R a good beginner bike? And my thoughts and my opinion on it. And honestly, I think it is not. Reason being, the ZX6R it's just got way too much horsepower and way too much torque for a beginner rider. I think a beginner rider should start out on something low CC, just so that you can understand and better grip the fundamentals of riding a motorcycle, because it's not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be. At least not when you're coming from someone who's never ridden a motorcycle in their entire life. I think that if you've ridden dirt bikes, you can kind of, I feel like those people are more likely to do better when it comes to, or they learn it faster. They learn the power band, and it's easier for them to get used to it. But yeah, no, I do not think that the ZX6R is a good beginner bike. I think that a lot of people go on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and they hear these big motorcycle influencers telling them that you know, the ZX6R or a CBR 600 or a Yamaha R6 are perfect beginner bikes, and I'm arguing against it, mainly because when it comes to the ZX6R, it is just so insane on how quick you can accelerate on this thing. It is so insane. I mean, I've got maybe 4 years, maybe like 4.5 of riding experience. I still got in an accident, right? So I got in an accident on April 1st, so not really a good April Fool's joke. Not even really a joke. It's pretty insane that April Fool's is when I had to wreck my brand new ZX6R. So I had just bought it. I only had it for maybe like 3 weeks, so less than a month, and I wrecked it because I was being too cocky. And you know, I look back on it now, and I wish I would have taken my time learning the bike, because even with, you know, 3 years of riding experience, I still ended up wrecking it, man, because I didn't respect it. And I think that new riders hop on 2 wheels, and they realize, you know, for those who don't crash, they realize that this is really fun and it's really addicting. And if you're starting out on a 600, you're more likely to crash and not be able to come back from it, because the forgiveness on a smaller bike versus the forgiveness on a bigger bike is just not the same. Granted, you can still do some pretty insane stuff on smaller bikes. They're easier to maneuver, and it's way easier to slow down and stop when you're on a smaller bike. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I've owned a ZX6R for, I want to say, probably about 6 or 7 months. I've had this ZX6R, so I've had it for a minute now, and I love it. There are things that I wish it had that it doesn't, like a quick shifter and other things, and I know that I can add those things to it, but I could not justify spending any more money on a 600 because I am looking into possibly a leader bike or a Aprilia RS660. God, this bike sounds so amazing. Or at least if I'm not getting a 1000, so a leader bike or anything else, I'm probably going to be moving in to a newer 6R. Obviously when the recall thing is figured out, because I'm not a big fan of the recall issue that the new 6Rs are having. Kind of pisses me off because I think it's the best looking ZX6R out of all the other bikes, and I just prefer the way that it looks a lot more over my current ZX6R. Not to say that the 2014s don't look good, but I think that the new ones look so much better. So, I'm definitely looking at upgrading. Don't know when, but at some point. Ooh, my visor's fogging, and I can't see shit. Maybe if I gain some speed here, my visor will defog. Jeez, even with a pin lock, you know, it's cold weather, man. It gets to my visor. My ADHD is kicking in, keeping me off topic. But the ZX6R is a perfect bike if you're looking to upgrade from a Ninja 400. After having about a year or two of experience on a Ninja 400, an MT-07 or an R3 or whatever, you know, beginner bike you end up getting that is not a 600cc, because this is not a beginner bike. I have had so many friends who have gotten a 600cc and either they started out on it or they jumped up to it way too fast and they ended up wrecking it because they didn't respect the bike. And sadly, I've even had friends pass away, and stuff like that happens. And and there's nothing that we can do about it. So what we can do is, you know, learn from their mistakes. Let's see here. Also, did you see how I just sped past those two girls? Yeah, it's because I don't like women. They scare me. Including my wife. My wife scares me. More than anything. Literally. Ooh. And that's the thing about the ZX6R, you know. When you own one, but you're also married, or maybe you have a girlfriend, she hates the bike. You know, they say that they love it, but they don't. You know, because it's like we pour a lot of attention, money, love into these machines. So, but it is what it is. It's not that we don't love them, because we do. You know, I love my wife, but you know, sometimes she thinks that I love this bike more than her, and that might be true. I'm gonna regret that later. This has been a good ride. So with that, I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.